April 10, 1945, 2:15 p.m. 28,000 feet above the shattered spires of Berlin, where the spring sky hangs heavy with the acrid tang of burning oil and cordite. You grip the stick of your P-51 Mustang, the Merlin engine thrumming like a caged beast between your knees. The cockpit glass is smeared with oil streaks from the slipstream, and your oxygen mask fogs with every ragged breath. Below, the Reich's heart pulses with futile defiance, flak bursts blooming black like funeral flowers over Tempelhof's cratered runways. Your squadron, the 479th Fighter Group, slices through the formation like wolves on a failing herd, escorting the last thunder of the 8th Air Force bombers homeward. Lieutenant Colonel Hub Zemke's voice crackles over the radio, steady as granite. "Eagle flights, tighten up, eyes sharp for stragglers." Then it happens. A sound pierces the roar, not the familiar snarl of radial engines or the whip-crack of cannon fire, but something unholy, a banshee wail rising from the east like the scream of a diving Stuka, but faster, sharper, slicing the air with surgical cruelty. Your head snaps left. There, glinting silver arrows, twin tails forked like devil's prongs, streaking across the horizon at speeds that mock your gauges. 4 of them, no, 6. Messerschmitt Me 262's, the jets you've heard whispers about in briefing tents, the Führer's miracle weapons that outrun anything with propellers. Your heart stutters. The lead Mustang in your flight, Captain Bill Overstreet's bird, banks hard right, but it's too late. One jet ghosts past, a blur of aluminum and fury, its 4 30mm cannons silent for now but promising hell. You throttle up instinctively, the supercharger whining in protest, pushing your Mustang to 450 miles per hour, top speed, red line. But the jet? It's gone, a vapor trail uncoiling like smoke from a dragon's nostril. "What in God's name was that?" someone blurts over the RT, voice pitching high with the raw edge of fear. Zemke's Mustang, "Come on in, mule," painted jauntily on her nose, weaves through the contrails ahead. He's seen it too. The legendary ace, the man who tamed the 56th Fighter Group's wolf pack with P-47s before trading Thunderbolts for these sleek Mustangs last fall. Zemke, with his sharp eyes and sharper instincts, doesn't flinch, but even he feels the chill snake down his spine. These aren't the piston pounders he's danced with over Normandy or the Ruhr. These are ghosts from tomorrow, engines gulping kerosene at rates that could empty a Jerry fuel dump in hours, airframes swept back like scythes ready to harvest Allied wings. The formation scatters, a ballet of panic amid the precision drill. Your wingman, Lieutenant Walter Sharbow, yanks his stick, glycol streaming from a near-miss flak hole, but his eyes are locked on the eastern sky. Another howl, closer now, and Me-262 dives on a straggling B-17 from the 33rd Bomber Group, Hell's Angels, its fortress trailing black smoke from a gutted engine. The jet's cannons speak, burp, burp, a stuttering thunder that chews the bomber's tail to ribbons. Chutes bloom like dandelions in the slipstream, but not enough. The fortress corkscrews earthward, a dying wail in the clouds. You can almost feel the freezing wind clawing at your flight suit, the bite of altitude turning your fingers numb on the trigger. How do you fight a shadow? The P-51 was queen of the skies, long-range escort, dive-bombing terror, dogfighter supreme with her 650 caliber Brownings spitting 400 rounds a minute. But this is the future crashing into the present, Hitler's parting gift from the ashes of Peenemünde. Whispers from intel briefings flood back. First sightings last October when Zemke himself bagged one over Holland, mistaking it for a fleeing 109, until the autopsy on the wreckage confirmed the impossible. Axial compressors, turbine blades spinning at 10,000 RPM, a top speed of 540 knots that left props eating dust. The radio erupts. Bandits at 3 o'clock low. Jets! Jesus, they're fast. It's Overstreet, his Tennessee drawl cracking. Zemke cuts through the static like a knife. Steady, boys, form up on me. High side attack, use the sun. But doubt creeps in, a cold fog in your gut. These silver demons have already claimed a dozen bombers this month alone. Their pilots, aces like Walter Shook of JG-7, racking kills from the safety of untouchable altitude. One pass, and they're gone, circling back for another like eagles on hares. Your Mustang shudders as you pull into a climb, the G-forces pinning you to the seat, vision tunneling gray at the edges. The lead 262 banks lazily, its pilot spotting the disorganized escorts, perhaps smirking behind his mask. Arrogance or calculation? You've heard the rumors, fuel starvation grounding half the fleet, engines flaming out on landing, pilots green as spring grass. But up here, none of that matters. The jet levels off, cannons tracking a P-51 on the flank. Yours? No, Lieutenant Bill Wilkerson's. Tracers arc like fiery comets stitching his wing. He jinks left, smoke blooming, but holds formation. Zemke dives first, a golden eagle stooping from the blind spot. His Mustang screams past the jet's tail, guns blazing. Sparks fly. Hits on the engine nacelle? The 262 lurches but recovers, rocketing away in a burst of afterburner blue. Got a piece of him, Zemke growls, triumph laced with disbelief. The squadron follows, a furious wheel of Mustangs coiling tight, but the jets are phantoms, strike and vanish, their howls echoing like laughter in the void. As the bombers lumber west toward England, the sky empties. Your hands tremble on the controls, sweat slicking your gloves. What just happened? The Reich is crumbling. Eisenhower's legions across the Rhine, Zhukov's hammers at the Oder. But up here, for one eternal minute, the future nearly rewrote the ending. Zemke's voice returns, calm as dawn. Regroup at Angels 20, we've got work to do. But as you scan the horizon, another silver streak ignites. More coming, and this time they're hunting you. The silver streak multiplies, 8 now, a swarm of Me-262's materializing from the sun's glare like apparitions summoned from the Reich's dying dreams. Their engines, those Jumo 004 turbines forged in the sweatshops of Junkers factories, gulp air with a mechanical thirst, propelling them at 500 miles per hour, faster than a 50 cal round leaving the barrel. You feel it in your bones. The P-51's Merlin is a thoroughbred, nimble and lethal in the turn. But against this, it's David staring down a phalanx of Goliaths on steroids. Zemke's Mustang surges ahead, her liquid-cooled V12 barking defiance as he rolls inverted, scanning the underbellies of the clouds for weakness. Red flight, on me, low and fast. Blue, cover high. We're not running from ghosts today. His words cut the panic like a bayonet thrust, the colonel's gravelly Montana drawl a lifeline in the ether. Hub Zemke isn't just a leader, he's a predator reborn. Shot down twice, once over France in '44, evading Gestapo on a stolen bicycle through hedgerows, he's clawed back from the abyss, his 17.5 kills etched in the faded shark-mouth nose art of his old jug. Now, in this Mustang's cockpit, he recalibrates, mind racing like a slide rule. Jets turn slow at low speeds, bleed energy in climbs, and those engines, fragile as porcelain, prone to compressor stalls if you push them wrong. You slot in behind him, your own bird, Maggie, vibrating with the strain, supercharger whining as you drop flaps a notch for the dive. The formation rebuilds in seconds, a testament to drills hammered home over misty English mornings at Wattisham Airfield. Overstreet's Mustang ghosts your left wing, his gun sight zeroed. Sharbo clings to the right, nursing that flak puncture like a boxer with a cracked rib. Below, Berlin's anti-aircraft batteries belch fury upward, 88mm shells bursting in lazy puffs that pepper the sky with shrapnel confetti. One clips a trailing vapor trail, but the jets weave through unscathed, their swept wings slicing turns that would shear a prop fighter apart. The lead 262, call sign White 1 in the Luftwaffe ledger, piloted by Oberlieutenant Fritz Engau of JG-7, now the world's first jet aces with 5 kills to his name, spots the regrouping Mustangs. Engau's a veteran of the Eastern Front, where he flew FW-190s against Yak-9s in the mud-slogged skies over Kursk. But this Me 262, it's his Excalibur, untouchable, a silver sword that carves B-24s like butter. He signals his wingman, a fresh-faced lieutenant with dreams of the Knight's Cross, and they peel off in a shallow dive, cannons charging with the whine of hydraulic pumps. Americana, einfache Beute, Engau mutters into his mask, the words lost in the jet's roar. Easy prey. The props are turning back to base, bellies full of bomb bays emptied over the fatherland's corpse. But Zemke sees it coming. Brake left, now! His Mustang plummets, a golden streak falling from heaven, gravity's hand yanking you into the abyss. The world inverts, blue sky to black earth, the Rhine's serpentine glint rushing up like a silver vein pulsing with the Reich's last blood. Your stomach floats, then slams as you follow, stick shoved forward, airspeed building to 550, dangerous, flirting with compressibility, where the wings might bite back. The G-suit tightens around your legs, squeezing like an angry lover, staving off the gray out. Wind howls over the canopy, a banshee chorus drowning the Merlin's song. Engau's jet screams past overhead, too committed, his burst of 30mm shells stitching empty air where your formation was seconds ago. The rounds high explosive incendiary detonate with lazy cracks, one fragment pinging off your tail like a pebble on tin. Close, too close. Zemke levels at 15,000 feet, the deck a patchwork of bomb scars and skeletal forests, and hauls back into a chandelle, a climbing turn that bleeds just enough speed to tighten the radius. The Mustang responds like a lover, her laminar flow wing biting clean air, banking at 3 Gs where the jet would wallow like a whale in shallows. You feel the shift, the hunters becoming the hunted. Zemke's voice, ice calm. Target the engines, boys. Underside shots. Give 'em hell. The squadron fans out, a loose echelon, eyes peeled for the jet's telltale contrails. There, one breaks low, greedy for a crippled P-51 limping on the edge. It's Engau himself, lining up on Sharbo's wounded bird, cannons traversing slow. Sharbo jinks, smoke trailing thicker now, but he's meat on the slab. You roll in, heart hammering, thumb feathering the gun trigger. The Mustang's nose dips, sights pipper dancing over the jet's gleaming belly, intakes gaping like shark gills, the vulnerable nacelles housing those turban hearts. Time fractures, your Brownings erupt, brap, 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 a storm of .5 caliber fury, 1,200 rounds per minute tearing skyward in a glowing braid. Lead the target, half a jet length ahead, accounting for closure. Hits. Sparks erupt from the left UMO, aluminum skin peeling like banana flesh, fuel igniting in a whoosh of orange flame. Engau's 262 yaws violently, black smoke coiling from the nacelle, but he holds it, banking hard for altitude. "Splash one engine!" you shout, the words tasting like victory's first sip. But he's not done, twists away, rocketing east at full throttle, leaving a breadcrumb trail of oil. Zemke claims the next. His dive on a trailing 262 is poetry in violence. Mustangs stooping like a peregrine, guns converging on the jet's sluggish turn. 4 bursts, precise, surgical, and the right nacelle shreds, turbine blades flinging outward like shrapnel confetti. The jet cartwheels, pilot punching out in a bloom of white silk, his canopy shattering against the wind. Confirmed kill! Overstreet whoops, circling the wreck as it spirals into a pine-cloaked hillside, a fireball mushrooming skyward. The Luftwaffe pilot, a boy of 19, tumbles earthward, his war ending in a tangle of branches and regret. The ballet intensifies, a furious wheel over Berlin's ruins. Mustangs dart and weave, exploiting every mistake, a jet's wide turn, a fuel-starved throttle lag, the fatal hesitation of green pilots thrust into machines meant for demigods. Overstreet bags one low, raking its underbelly as it buzzes a flak tower. His tracers march up the fuselage, detonating the ammo bays in a chain of crimson pops. Charbot, defiant to the last, snap rolls into a scissors with another, forcing it over speed and flame out. Compressor blades seizing in a death rattle, the jet gliding helpless to earth. But the jets fight back. One, flown by ace Hermann Buchner, with 8 prop kills before jets, ambushes from the sun, his 30mm eviscerating a Mustang in blue flight. Lieutenant Ed Simpson's bird erupts in a mid-air pyre, wings folding like paper, the pilot's scream cut short by the blast. You see it peripherally, a brother lost, the sky claiming another debt. Rage surges, hot and clarifying. "For Ed!" someone bellows, and the wheel tightens, Mustangs coiling like springs. Zemke tallies 3 personally that afternoon, his guns running dry on the 4th, a grazing hit that sends the jet limping home, trailing fire. By 3 p.m., the sky quiets, 7 262's down, crashed, burning, or fleeing to emergency strips at Brandenburg-Brest, where ground crews curse the chronic shortages of high-octane C3 fuel. Only one Mustang lost beyond Simpson's, a grazing cannon burst that forces a belly landing in a sugar beet field. You pull up, formation ragged but unbroken, the Rhine shrinking to a thread below. Exhaustion crashes in waves, oxygen debt making your vision swim. Zemke's Mustang slots lead again, his voice a weary anchor. "Eagle Flight, RTB. Good hunting, gentlemen." The radio falls to chatter, half awe, half disbelief. Did we just dogfight jets? With props? Hell yeah! Charbot laughs, manic edge to it. As England's green patchwork rises ahead, you glance back. Berlin smolders, a pyre for empires. The Me-262 was Hitler's comet, brilliant, brief, burning out on flawed wings. But in that thunderous clash, you felt it, the Reich's final flight, clipped not by speed, but by the unyielding grit of men in machines born of desperation and dawn patrols. Yet debriefs whisper of more. JG-7's rebuilding, Goering's last gasp, and tomorrow, the jets return. Wattisham's runways greet you like an old scar, pockmarked concrete stretching under a slate-gray English sky, the April drizzle turning the dispersals to slick mud that sucks at your tires like reluctant farewells. It's 4:47 p.m. when your Mustang touches down, tail dragging a plume of steam from overheated brakes, the undercarriage groaning in protest after that brutal wheel over the Rhine. Ground crew swarm like ants on sugar, yellow-vested wraiths waving you to a halt with Oldest lamps flickering Morse for cut engines. You kill the Merlin with a flick, the silence crashing in like surf on a pebble beach. The canopy slides back, and the chill wind slaps your face, carrying the faint rot of Essex marshes mingled with avgas and cordite ghosts clinging to your flight suit. You swing down the ladder, legs wobbling like a colt's first stand, the .38 revolver at your hip thumping against your thigh. Medics with stethoscopes like nooses cluster around Charbo's bird 2 slots over. He's out before the prop stops, hauled to the ambulance with a collapsed lung from that flak kiss, but alive, grinning through the oxygen mask, thumbs up as they stretcher him away. Overstreet lands next, his Mustang Chief sporting fresh scars, cannon holes like angry eyes along the fuselage where Engau's parting shot grazed home. He vaults the wing, boots splashing puddles, and clasps your shoulder, hard, brotherly. "We clipped 'em good, Mac. Jets or no, they're just meat in the sky." Zemke's the last in, his come-on-in mule taxiing regal as a parade float, despite the glycol leak staining her belly blue. The colonel unfolds from the cockpit like a man shedding armor, his flight cap askew, oxygen mask dangling like a spent cartridge. No words yet, just a nod to the crew chief, who salutes with oil-blackened rag. The three of you trudge to the debrief tent, a canvas Quonset sagging under the rain, its flaps tied back to vent the fug of cigarette smoke and instant coffee. Inside, intelligence officer Major Ellis waits, maps unrolled across a trestle table, scarred by bayonet whittles, red pencils marking the morning's bomb runs. A Sten gun leans casual against an ammo crate, reminder that Jerry saboteurs still prowl the fens at night. "Report," Ellis says, voice clipped Oxford, but his eyes, hungry for the raw cut, betray the eagerness. Zemke slumps into a folding chair, lighting a lucky strike with a Zippo that clicks like a chambered round. 7 confirmed, Major, 3 probables. Their jets, 262's no doubt, hit us at Angels 28, vector 090, fast as sin, but turn like drunk elephants. He exhales smoke in a dragon sigh, recounting the dives, the hits, the flameouts. You chime in on your engine kill, the way the Jumo belched fire like a dragon with indigestion, traces marching up the nacelle until the pilot bailed, his chute fouling on the tail fin. Overstreet sketches the wheel on the map with a grease pencil, arrows looping like a barroom brawl diagrammed for the coroner. Ellis scribbles furiously, cross-referencing with gun camera footage rushed from the darkroom, grainy 16mm strips flickering on a projector, silent except for the clatter of sprockets. There, your burst, frozen in emulsion, the 262's belly a constellation of .5 cal stigmata. 13 total for the group, he tallies, voice rising. That's a third of JG7's operational strength gone in one go. Whispers ripple. Aces like Shook and Buchner nursing wounds at Lager Lechfeld, their jets cannibalized for parts and hangars lit by carbide lamps. But beneath the tallies, a shadow. Simpson's loss hits like a gut punch. Ed, the kid from Spokane with the harmonica solos at the USO dances, gone in a blink of 30mm fury. You stare at the table's grain, tracing knots like veins, remembering his laugh over last night's poker, queen-high flush, owing you a month's pay. Zemke stubs his cigarette, sparks dying in a tin tray. They're desperate, Ellis. Fuel's the noose. Those turbines guzzle 100 octane like it's going out of style, and Goering's dumps are drier than the Sahara. Intel confirms it. Allied bombers, the very ones you escorted today, have hammered synthetic plants at Luna and Chauvin-Buer to rubble, choking the Reich's veins. Me-262's, for all their scream, fly on borrowed time. 30 minutes combat radius if you're lucky, less if the engines torch on takeoff. Pilots, too, boys yanked from trainers, given 10 hours stick time before shoved into cockpits worth a factory worker's yearly wage. Engau's debrief, if he limped home, would echo with curses at the fatherland's hollow miracles. Willie Messerschmitt's swept-wing wonder, rushed from drawing board to sky in 2 frantic years, flaws etched in every rivet. You lean back, the canvas wall behind you drumming with rain like impatient fingers. Outside, the squadron's Mustangs huddle under tarps, ground crews swarming with welders' torches, patching holes before dawn. Maggie gets a new belly tank tomorrow, her Merlin tuned to sing sweeter. But the awe lingers, a low hum in your chest like engine vibration long after shutdown. Yesterday's foes were Me-109s, predictable as clockwork, stall at 120 knots, dive like spears. Today, phantoms that outran your dreams, only to crumple under the old verities, gravity, guts, and guns that never jammed. We stunned 'em, Overstreet mutters, nursing a tumbler of scotch from Ellis's private stash. But did they see us coming? Ellis rolls up the maps, sealing the debrief with a classified stamp that smells of fresh ink. Chafe's buzzing, Doolittle wants after action by 0600. If we keep this up, the Jets fold by VE Day. He pauses, eyes flicking to the tent flap where medics wheel Charbo past, bound for the field hospital. Good work, get some rack. The three of you step into the gloaming, boots squelching toward the Nissen huts, where a phonograph wails Glenn Miller's In the Mood from some Victrola, a defiant jazz pulse against the war's dirge. Night falls soft over Wattisham, stars pricking through cloud gaps like shrapnel scars. You lie on your cot, GI blanket scratchy against skin still reeking of fear sweat, replaying the howls in your head. The Me-262 was the Reich's comet, blazing, beautiful, doomed to gutter out. Hitler's engineers dreamed of Mach speeds while slave laborers chained to benches bled for every turbine blade. You, just a farm boy from Iowa, trading cornfields for contrails, your P-51 a Pony Express against tomorrow's thunder. But in that furious ballet, you clipped the wings of tomorrow. The stunned awe from the morning's freeze, it hardened to something fiercer, certainty. The end was written in smoke trails and silk chutes. Dawn patrols resume at first light, Zemke's roster chalked fresh on the board. JG-7 scrambles again, but thinner now, 6 jets, not 8. And as you strap in, engine coughing to life, a new whisper over the RT. Eagle lead, bandits vectoring, let's finish the job. The Rhine calls, one last dance.